Hi, Capricorn Sun and Rising. Welcome to your November 2022 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So, we're in eclipse season, and on the 8th of November, there's going to be an eclipse of the lunar variety in your fellow Earth sign, Taurus. And this one will fall in your 5th house. And this is such a great house because not only is it about love, but it's also about creative endeavors, the business that you own, children, and what else is it about? Pleasure is the 5th house. So these kinds of things are coming up for you, with a lunar eclipse are coming up. And of all the signs, I think that this is the one that could be love at first sight because Uranus is forming a conjunction with this lunar eclipse, and Uranus can be sudden things. Uranus is very intuitive and has that, I think that it's associated with a lightning bolt kind of thing, and that's what people describe when they talk about love. Now, I was going to say single people, but you never know. So there could be something where you just instantly have this reaction. I would be reluctant to just keep it on that date because, there has been talk about the influence extending before and afterwards. But I like, mentioning a specific time because just like with a full moon, which is a powerful version of it, we assign a certain date to it. But because this is more powerful, it has more influence for a longer period of time. That's all. And likewise, if you have had some kind of feelings for someone and you can't shake them and it has kept you from moving on, it's possible that this will make you almost like instantaneously be able to stop that. And this is one of the houses as well that's associated with addiction. So pleasure that is taken to excess can be some sort of addictive behavior. So with Uranus especially, but even the lunar eclipse, just like releasing, letting go, and not looking back. Full moon times are very fertile, so this could just be that on steroids. If you are a woman, this could be an unexpected pregnancy, especially if you think that you cannot get pregnant. So be very careful about that kind of activity because that could lead to a surprise pregnancy. And I wonder if it could be something similar to that. On the 16th, Venus goes into Sagittarius, and you have a bunch of energy going into that 12th house. Mercury on the 17th, the Sun on the 22nd, and the new moon on the 23rd. The new moon in this area, but to tell you the truth, it's only at the new moon is only at 1 degree of Sag. So that might be more 11th house than 10th house. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure if that translates for many people, but so also look to that house of hopes and wishes because that might be where this is really falling for you. But speaking specifically about the 12th house, this is the gestation period, the sun going there on the 22nd. That is the month before your solar return. So that's a time of maybe reflection, more solitude, more rest, less outward activity, perhaps. And with Mercury there, even, yeah, mental contemplation. I think of the Four of Swords in the tarot, and maybe meditation versus outward communication. If you've been more, because these different planets have been coming from the 11th house, which is very socially active. So just thinking about, this is the last house before you start a new cycle. So tying up those loose ends, and especially reflecting on the past 11 months as you go into your new solar season, or if this is your rising sign, that new cycle of your natal chart. That is always a great thing to do. And when Venus goes into the 12th house, this can be dealing with someone romantically, but behind the scenes. So there could be different reasons for that. If you have met them through a group of friends, you may not want your friends to know that you're actually dating this person if you all were just, kind of platonic friends at one point. Simply because you just want to see how it's going to go and you don't want to necessarily advertise that. It can be for different reasons why you're doing this. And this can also be recognition that somebody that you meet is a soulmate, because the 12th house is the house of past lives and the spiritual. And to me, people talk about this soulmate stuff, and of course there's this Hollywood, and it's like a chick flick type of definition. But really, to me, the ultimate definition of soulmates, and maybe even twin flames to some degree, is this idea of two people who are on spiritual paths joining together. And it's like you're helping one another. You may not have exactly the same concepts of God. Hopefully they're somewhat similar, because if they're very dissimilar, they can clash with one another in terms of, how you would live life even. But that idea of perhaps, living life in a very kind of a wholesome way, looking at things from a spiritual perspective rather than a materialistic perspective, that can be very helpful. A lot of times what you find is that one person is more into that than the other, and then they are not on the same page. And you find that in every area of life, whether it's raising children or how they handle money matters, even these material situations, they clash because one person is looking at it from a higher perspective, and the other one is really caught up in that worldly view of it. So that could be a blessing if something like that happens. And again, with that lunar eclipse in the 5th, it might be connected to that. And on the same day that we have a new moon in Sagittarius, Jupiter goes direct in Pisces. And it's really interesting for two reasons. First of all, Jupiter is ruled by Sag, or rules Sag, and also Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. So it's like, and the new moon is in Sagittarius. It's kind of mutually receptive or something similar to that. And for you, Pisces is the 3rd house, which can be about communication of different forms. Jupiter here is blessings when it comes to teaching or expansion, teaching and learning things. Maybe you have wanted to take some kind of class and you are training, and you couldn't do so, and now you're going to be able to, or if you're trying to get a teaching position and it seemed like it wasn't working, trying to launch your website, now you're working on it and something didn't gel for you and now things can go better. I think the third house can even be connected to sales or business matters. So that may help with profits. Jupiter can be associated with money. And siblings are third house. Siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, all of these individuals could be helping you in some way. And this is the second go around for this. Okay, Capricorn, that's what I have for you. And of course, you know, Pluto is going to leave Capricorn in March, go into Aquarius. So, you know, you're going to have a respite from that has been going on for you for many, many years. So that is something to look forward to as well. So I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.